Three.
All right, so we're ready to start transplanting our seeds that we started in this bought off of Amazon mini greenhouse. The greenhouse comes with the top and the tray, and then inside there are different planting positions. It has an air vent here. You can close or open that, and you can see how the water is condensed up here. So you really don't have to water it all that much because the moisture stays in there. But it has, on the top, it has the grow lights that you just turn it over and put it down like this, okay, in there. And that's where the light comes from. You have a switch that has an off-on switch, a dimmer, and then you can also do a timer setup if you want to. I didn't use the timer setup. I just turned it on in the morning, let it go till about 8, 9 o'clock at night, and switched it off. So it got a little more than average sunlight, so to speak. So now the seeds have sprouted and they've grown to such a level that it's time to transfer them. And that's what we're going to do right now. So let's get the top out of the way. Move it over here. Okay, just put it right there. Be good enough for now. And so you can see what I've got planted here. I have, this is a particular bean called Taylor Dwarf. It's kind of a speckled pinto bean / lima bean. It's a really nice heirloom type species. It was my brother's favorite. He planted it every year. So in honor of him, I'm going to plant that this year. I planted it last year, did okay. It's a good, very, very tasty bean. And then we have dwarf okra, which is Patty's favorite. These I'm going to transplant those first and put them in the small containers. And then back here I've got a squash. Some people call it the trombone squash. It's an Italian squash that keeps well. Normal squash and zucchini, you have to process them as soon as you can. The trombone squash can sit around for a while, kind of like a gourd does, and you don't have to process it so quickly. So I'm going to try it. The only downside to it is it's a vine grower, so I may have to put a trellis up to make it do right. So we'll see how that goes. We'll get into that later. And then over here we have cilantro, which is a slow bolt variety. Cilantro is known to bolt, which means it tries to go to seed. You want to eat the leaves, but when it starts growing flowers and making seeds, there's not a lot of leaves available anymore. So if you have a slow bolt variety, you end up with more cilantro leaves. So that's why we did that one. But you can see I planted all these at roughly the same time, and it took a while for the cilantro to get up. So anyways, we'll leave it in the greenhouse a little bit longer. But right now we're going to start moving the okra from here to here. This is a recycled fiber planter boxes. You could probably use egg crates if you wanted to, but they're not big enough really in my opinion. But you can plant this whole thing in the ground is the nice part about it if you want to, or you can transfer it out of here. So it's slightly bigger than the plastic ones here, so we're going to transplant the dwarf okra to start with, and we'll show you how this process works. So first thing is getting them out. You can see that these come in packs of 12. So that's 4 this way. Sorry, 3 this way, 4 that way. That gives you 12. And so you notice that we put 2 seeds in each one of these sections here. And not all of the seeds come up. So it's always a good idea to plant at least 2 seeds in each one of these. You know, a couple extra seeds doesn't cost you much, but a couple of extra weeks in time that you miss by not having them planted at the right time is going to cost you. So plant a couple extra seeds in each one of these. You can thank me later. So this is Patty's favorite, dwarf okra.
Yes.
We had planted Clemson spineless before, and the okra got so tall that
So big, I have to use the ladder.
she couldn't reach the top one. So, and then Clemson spineless, if you don't pick it in time, your okra becomes okra. It becomes okra flavored wood, is what it is. You can't eat it. I don't care if you boil it, steam it, whatever you want to do. It's too tough to eat. So you have to stay on top of your harvesting. This one is a little bit softer variety. The pods don't grow quite as big, but it's easier to handle, and it does a good job. So we'll see how it does this year. I've planted it before, so I expect good things from it, but we'll see how it goes. So the tricky part is getting them out of these containers. These are kind of a hard plastic, so sometimes they fight you a little bit to come out depending on how well developed the root system is. So that's the hardest part. Now, even if you do separate the soil from the roots, as long as you get all the roots and put it in your transplant location, you should be fine. So don't worry about trying to get all the soil out at once. Just make sure you get the plant in as much of the root as you can. And I always plan for things not going perfect. So I really don't need this much okra, but I fully anticipated that not all the seeds will sprout, that was true, and not all of the plants will live. So if you plan on planting too much, then that's probably a good thing. That way you don't end up with too little at the end and will have wasted a lot of time. So that's my thought on how many seeds to put in each container. And then if I transplant this one that has 2 in it, for example, and I put those in the garden, after a few weeks I may just pick the one that's doing the best and thin the crop a little bit so that we don't have 2 plants taking the same nutrients out of the same spot. So, but that's the way to do it. Plant too many, thin them, and you'll be glad you did that. Anyways, I'm going to show you how this works right quick. So I'm going to pick one that I hope works well. We'll see. It's always an adventure on how well they come out. So just kind of press the bottom like that. You can see there's some roots sticking out of the bottom, so it's doing quite well. So hopefully I can grab the plant and the root together out of the top like so and get as much as I can, and I did. I got a good bit of roots out of there.
Yeah, that was really good.
Not too bad.
Yeah,
so
very
just drop
nice.
it in there. Yeah, and so I have some additional seed starter right here. I'm going to put that in there for a little bit, and then I'm going to put some of the fresh ground that has a little bit more nutrients in it than the seed starter. So that's the way we're going to do that. Then what we'll do is we'll fill all these up, and then we'll water them nicely and put them in the sun as opposed to leaving them in the tiny greenhouse. So that's what we're going to work on. So we'll just do them one at a time. Hopefully they do well. We'll see. Yeah, got that one pretty good. And then when we get to some of the larger plants over here, we'll use some of the larger containers. We have these, and we'll show you how to do that in just a minute. It's the same process, just on a bigger scale. That's all we do.
That looks really good. You become a pro now.
Well, I don't know about that. As soon as you say that, I'll lose one. As soon as the camera comes on, that's when all the trouble starts.
Yeah.
So yeah, that one wasn't ideal.
Yeah.
But it's why you plant a lot. You don't know.
Yeah, we always try something different every year. Like this is our first time doing this little tiny greenhouse. And it looks like, how do you like it?
I like it pretty good. It's pretty good. So the other thing I forgot to mention was, before I put the seeds in the greenhouse, I put the seeds in a paper plate and cover them with water for a few days until you see the first start of a sprout coming out of the bean. All that does is help you identify which beans are going to work best. So you don't, if a bean is not sprouted after a number of days under the wet paper towel, then you know it's probably not going to germinate and go to a plant. So that saves you some time and effort there too on planting seeds that are not going to result in a plant. But the roots are coming out nicely. It's just not holding. Yeah, the roots are coming out good. So you got both roots there. But I didn't get a whole lot of the dirt to go with it. But I think that's going to be okay.
Yeah.
Like I said, we'll put some more seed starter in there. And the seed starter, you can buy it off of Amazon. You can get it at any of your big box stores. I got this.
What you together?
I think I got this at Home Depot. Lowe's has the same thing. They all have the same stuff. Just look for the best bargain. They all kind of work So there you go. We'll just keep going here,
Yep.
and we'll see how this goes. So that one,
Wow, that was easy.
yeah, it was easy, but
But
I don't know how much of the root I got. So anyways, we'll see. We'll check on them in a day or two. I don't think there'll be any problems,
yeah,
but we'll see.
this is Danielle's favorite things to do. The starting point of everything.
Well, it's I'm a good starter.
And I am a good finisher.
That's right. So we make, we complement each other.
We make a good team.
Yeah.
I'm happy when I finish a project. Danielle is very, very happy when he is so enthusiastic to start anything.
Well, and then once I know what the answer is, I'm done. So I like problem solving. I don't actually like doing the implementation, so at least I know what I am. And I enjoy starting new things. Maybe you can
But
say...
I also like, weeding. I love doing that. And I also like picking up the vegetables and watering the vegetables.
Yeah, I've taken all kinds of tests to figure out what kind of person I am, the personality types and learner types and stuff like that. And, it always comes back that I like to be creative and I like to start stuff, not necessarily a detail-oriented person, and that's okay. As a matter of fact, I took an online test.
I am the detail-oriented person one.
Yeah, that's why we complement each other well.
Yeah.
And so I took a test to determine what type of learning personality that I have, how I like to learn and how I process data. And the test told me that I was a skeptic. And right away I knew that was a bunch of bull. So I didn't believe it.
Yeah,
So there you
because
go.
you're skeptical.
So it looks like this is going to work out good. It looks like I have just enough plants to fill up each one of these,
Yeah.
which is
We
nice.
still like two. Yeah.
Yeah, so I may, like my sister and my brother both are, green thumbs, of course.
Yeah, they are so good.
And so I have some extra plants left over. I'll probably take them over to him or her, Casey or Kathy, either one. And they'll be glad to have a dwarf okra plant or a snow pea or something. And maybe they have something that I don't have. That's right. And we'll go from there. So I want to get this one that has 2 in it for sure.
That's why it's nice to live in a community when you can exchange plants like that. So we have a variety of plants. And sometimes you just don't need to plant it. You just get it from somebody else. And, they plant it and then you can replant it here. Right?
Yeah, and then on this okra, if my transplanting job doesn't work as well as I planned, I know for sure that okra, you can plant it directly in the ground. I just wanted to get started early.
Yeah.
Normally, I would just plant okra straight in the ground, and it does well. And, if the okra does the way it should do, you'll be so tired of okra because it goes right up until freeze. It keeps making okra.
Oh, I love okra, so I never get tired of okras.
So, anyway, I'm not worried
Especially
about it.
this one are dwarf okra, so they're not going to be as big.
Yeah, they should be easier to take care of.
Yeah, take care of and also eat.
Yeah, they'll stay.
They'll stay
Not
small.
quite as woody. Not quite as woody
Yeah.
as some of the others. So yeah, there we go.
You are becoming so good at this thing.
Yeah, so there's that. Let me.
You still have one left?
Yeah, I'm gonna give that one to KC probably. I don't think he planted any okra yet.
Oh, okay. Only one?
Well, that's what I got left. So, sorry.
Sorry, Casey. That's all you're gonna have.
Yeah. And anyways, I think he has a couple of cantaloupes or a watermelon. He started the same sort of thing. He was my inspiration. He started his indoor plants sooner than I did.
Yeah, and we are here we love experiment. And so this is our first experiment with the greenhouse and then plus Casey's inspiration. So here we are.
All right, so that's extras over there. We'll put that over there. And then I'm going to put this right here.
Uh-huh.
And I'm going to move on to one of the bigger ones.
To do the okras.
To do the squash.
The squash or okras?
Well, the okra's already done.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
That means squash.
Yeah, so this is, they
That's a
call
big
this one trombonino, I believe it is.
Tomonino.
Yeah, it's from Italy.
Prego.
Yeah, that's right. So, anyways, there it is. And these things grew rapidly. You can see how big they are now. So,
Yeah, compared to the other ones.
yeah, so what I need is probably 12 of those. But let's see, I'm going to punch a hole in the bottom of that one in just a second. Let's see.
Do you have your...
I've got my knife right here.
Okay.
So
Always
just
have a knife.
yeah. So I'm
Make
just
sure
gonna
that you always have a knife.
yeah. So we're just gonna punch a little hole in there. Not that big, but just a little hole
Okay.
like that. So
Do you want to do all
yeah,
12 of them?
I'll do it each time. So I'll leave my knife right there.
Okay.
And so we're gonna try to get these out in one piece.
Do you want to put dirt in it first, or do you want to just like start with the
Yeah,
right away?
this will give
Just
us
to raise them a little bit more.
this will give us an opportunity to clean up some of the mess
Yep.
and put some additional new in there. And let's see how we do here. I'm a little bit worried about these because the plant is so tall.
Yeah.
All right, there we go. That one worked
That's
out
not
okay.
too bad.
Yeah, you got her in there pretty good.
Trombonino.
Yep,
I don't know if I say it right.
that's close enough.
Any Italian out there, yeah, correct me.
So there's
Feel
one
free to
right
correct
there.
me.
So
Yeah.
the nice part about this is you can just plant this directly in the ground if you like. What I usually do is I take my knife and score it all the way around right before I plant it so that it has a chance for the roots to get outside of this recycled fiber bowl. So anyways, and then that's why I punched a hole in the bottom too so the roots can go out the bottom. So that's nice. So that one turned out pretty good. Hope they all do that well. And I hope they all live. And I'll probably trade a family member
Yeah.
when the time comes. All right, so there's my dwarf okra sticker there. And we'll remember these squash are all...
Trombonino. I will be remembering that because
Yeah.
I like Italian culture. I like Italian food. I like everything Italian.
There you go.
So I will remember that trombonino.
All right, so once again,
Punch.
we'll get a little, score a little spot like that. Make sure that does nicely.
I think I should punch all of them.
Okay, there we go. Get that. A little extra soil in the bottom.
Oh, we should have prepared that before. Each one of them.
Wish me luck.
Good luck.
There you go.
Oh, that was not too bad.
That one worked
Yeah.
the way you would want it to.
Nicely. Very, very nicely.
So here we go. Chew right there.
Number 2 is done. Here's number 3. Why don't you punch them all at the same time?
All right, we'll do them 3 at a time. How about that?
That sounds good. It's like a factory.
It should be good enough. All right, now then, let's see if we can do this one.
Whoa, that was so easy. You get it?
Yeah, that one's good.
One.
Yeah, so just you know, don't pack it in there too heavy. And you know, you can always put more in there after you water it. If the soil drops down too much, you can always add a little more soil later. But don't compress the roots too much and smother them. So that's about right there. I feel pretty good about that one. And if we can get a couple more, I'll be happy. Once again, that one did very nicely.
Yeah.
And then it's always a good idea when you have a plant that's really long like this, when from the seed, try to put as much of that down under the dirt as you can, because it'll grow additional roots all the way up to the surface.
So maybe we should not put too much dirt, actually. So for the next 3, we are not going to do that.
Let's do that. Yeah. Let's give a little example here.
Yeah.
So let's cut another one. Okay. And so maybe we'll use about, see how high that one is. Like that. We'll do about half of that. Just something to keep dirt in the bottom. So the root that's already there.
Just small amount of dirt.
And then we'll put it down in there a little bit. Okay, like so. And we'll cover that up.
You become good. Do you like doing it?
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah.
You know, that's
So we are, everything is like going nicely here.
yeah.
Yeah.
So this squash, I might have said it already, but it supposedly is going to grow on a vine. So we're going to have to, we have lots of vine plants. I like doing vine plants because you don't have to be as worried about weeds overtaking your plant, because they're growing up instead of growing along the ground. But the downside of that is you have to build the trellis. And if you don't have the trellis space, then you're going to have to make some. Now you can, the internet says you can plant this one on the ground, and sort of like a watermelon vine, it'll grow and grow and grow out in all directions. But I like to keep things neat and small, so that we can have a square foot garden and not have to worry about vines growing outside of our square foot garden. So I hope that's the way it works. We'll build some trellises and things like that. We got enough plants to expand our garden, and
we have
we're gonna
space too.
Yeah,
We got plenty of space.
Plenty of space. So we'll do that. All right.
So this time of the year is always fun, to start the garden. I like it anyway. And the weather is getting big. You get hope that getting better, and you get hope, to have a better weather. So you are a little bit happier because you came out of the winter. And so it's always fun to be connected with nature and do something. And you know that it's going to feed you, so you don't need to go to the store all the time.
Gives you a little boost to start planning for a nice spring.
Yeah.
While it's still kind of cold out. That sort of thing.
Yeah, that's the reason why we are indoor today doing all of this, because the weather is not cooperating.
Yeah, we normally do this on the back porch.
Yep.
But not this year. Our day to do this turned out to be a really, really windy, rainy day here. So
it's been windy in West Tennessee for the past few weeks. Oh, I love seeing it. They are so pretty. Planting is therapeutic. Doing all of this is therapeutic. If you get a chance to do some gardening, planting, I think you'll love it. And it's a good exercise too. Right?
Yes. So we got 4 left. It just so happens that I have 4 of these left. Look at there. Almost like I planned it like that. So this is more squash than I will plant. I'll give some of these away for sure. I don't have room for this many vines right now, but we'll keep them going and see what happens. Yeah. Well, let's put some dirt in the bottom.
Just a little bit.
Hello. Thank you.
So this is how we spend our weekends.
Yeah. It's
making food for ourselves.
It's always something to do,
Oh, that's for sure. We are never bored. We have always something to do. We have the garden, you have the chicken, you have the goat, and Danielle is also making board. And me, of course, I'm running my business. And when you run a business, actually, you don't have time off. You run business every single day. Right?
Yeah, so we'll get an opportunity to do something fun.
Like this, and it's always good. And do it together because we love doing gardening. Actually, we love doing gardening, yes, but we know that we are going to have a good food. Like nowadays, everybody is talking about all of these additives in foods, etc. They're not natural, they're bad for you. And when you get a chance to plant your own food, it's really better. It's a little healthier. It's like why healthier?
Yeah, so I was a gardener before gardenering was cool. So I've been doing this a long time. But when I was little, I did it so I'd have food in the winter. Now it's more for fun, but it's not quite as critical if I don't have a good crop. But when I was a child, we had to have a garden to feed all of us, so that's what we did. And if we wanted to eat, we worked in the garden. There you go.
Yeah.
So that's how you learn. But anyways, this is going to be... I'm looking forward to these squash. Everything I've read, everything I've read say they're tasty, and they're shaped like a gourd, like this, and all of the seeds are on the end, and so the neck of it is seedless, and it tastes just as good as the rest of the plant. So, if you're not a fan of seeds in your squash, well, give it a try. So we'll know in the middle of the season whether it was a good idea or not, and we'll let you know.
Well, we're gonna eat it anyway.
Yeah.
I mean, it's from our garden. It's natural. There is no additive to it, and no, we are going to eat it. You like it or don't like it, I'm going to eat it. I don't have a problem with taste buds, so I usually can eat a lot of things.
All right.
You're done.
That's done. Okay, so what I'm going to do with the rest of these...
with the rest of the plastic, right?
Yeah, so that I'm going to go back in there because I emptied it. I used all of it, so I'll probably give Casey one or two and give Kathy one or two. So that's more than we'll use, so I'll keep those going until they're ready to plant. These, I think I'll put these in the smaller ones right here. These are the Taylor Dwarf beans. These are heirloom variety. You can find them on the internet. They go by a bunch of different names, but the most common one is the Taylor Dwarf bean. It makes a bean that looks like a pinto bean. It's got speckles on it, and the taste of it is kind of like a mix of a pinto and a lima bean. It makes really big beans. So yeah, so that's what we're going to do next. We'll get this going. And you don't have to plant beans early in a mini greenhouse like this. You can plant seeds directly in the ground, and they usually do well. But because I wanted to get a jump start, I went ahead and did this too, and we had the room.
That's really tall, by the way.
Yeah, and we had these.
So you had what's that? Is that little seed? Oh no, that's the leaf. That looks like almost like a bean.
Yeah, that's what's left of the bean. Right? That's what provided the nutrients for the rest of the plant. So that's the way that rolls. So we'll get that one in there, and then let's fill it up with new dirt.
New dirt.
A little more nutrients back in there. Get these going, and once again, we're going to try to plant it as deep as I can in these little things. But the plan is to get all of the plants out of these plastic containers and get them into these, and then we can start our next batch of seeds in our greenhouse.
What will be our next batch of seeds, you think?
Well, I don't know. I hadn't thought that far yet.
We'll let you know.
Yeah.
Right?
So we'll see about that.
Yeah, so right now we have like snow peas.
Snow peas, lots of snow peas, lots of varieties.
Yeah.
So then
okra,
squash, and beans. And this one over here is cilantro. It's a slow bolt variety. It took a little longer to come up, and I just haven't had any luck planting those directly in our herb garden. So I decided, well, I'll try it in the greenhouse, and it did quite well. So we'll see how it goes. I'm going to leave it in the greenhouse for another week or so till it gets big enough to transplant. We'll go from there. And to be honest, I may be wasting my time on these beans in this smaller container, but I'm going to go ahead and do it anyway because it'll make it easier to transplant it into the garden. Because you can plant the whole thing. You don't have to take them out of this recycled fiber. You can just plant it right in there. Yeah. So there's what we got. We've got the Taylor Dwarf bean here. When these things come with a kit, just get you a Sharpie and mark it on there. Make sure you don't forget what it is. And there you go. Let's put that right in there. And we'll do the next one too. These should, knock on wood, these should go pretty fast.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the plant is, the stem is very, very,
that was really fast.
To it, yeah. Very nice.
Faster than the other ones.
Yeah, so we'll just knock these out right quick, and I'll probably say one or two for family. Yeah.
Casey and Katie.
Yeah.
Katy.
Yeah.
You say Katy. Katy and Casey.
Yeah. So two more.
That was super fast.
Yeah.
I wish they were all like that.
Yeah, it's pretty easy.
Yeah.
All right.
There you go.
So now we'll clean it up a little bit. If that one continues to come up, that'll be one for Casey and one for Kathy if they want them. We'll put those over here.
Yeah.
All right, we did good on those. And I'll clean this up a little bit. Put a little extra all the way down through there.
You did good.
All right.
Proud of you.
Okay, well, there you have them.
They're so pretty.
Yeah, they make a really tasty bean.
Yeah.
The issue with these is you have to get them planted early enough, because when the average temperature gets above, say, 80 degrees, they don't want to make the fruit. You'll just have a nice, pretty bush. It's a beautiful bush, but there'll be no beans on it. So you got to get them out there fairly early. Theoretically, you could plant them in August and harvest them in, late September, October in the South. I tried that last year, and I was a little late getting them in the ground. So I said this year, I'm going to do it right, plant them early in the spring, and see how they do, and we'll see. And I have some more seeds.
We have dogs too.
Yeah,
so they're trying to talk to us too.
Yeah, they're happy. All right, well, that'll be it. We'll see you guys later.
Bye.